Loving your YouTube videos. First time tuning into the stream. I didn't know you were game dev. Did you know how to code by yourself or through post-secondary? Recently graduated with a CS degree, but jobs out there are rough. Oh my gosh, I know, Garrett. It's crazy right now. Like, it used to be that, like, if you had, like, a CS degree, that basically, like, jobs were, like, giga easy, but, yeah, I don't know. I guess the bubble has burst or something. As for how I learned how to program, so when I was a kid, I really liked Pokemon games. That was like my thing. I was like massively into Pokemon games. And at some point I went on like an internet forum and I saw people making their own. Pokemon games. And I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And they were doing it in RPG Maker. So I must have been like 7 at the time. I managed to install RPG Maker with the help of my dad. And then with my dad's help, I'm not sure if he's still here, but like with my dad's help, I basically learned how to do the scripting in RPG Maker to like make my own little events, to have like the NPCs walk and say stuff and whatever. And that really blew my mind, so that's where I learned the basics. I learned the basics of like what an if statement was. in RPG Maker, it was called a conditional branch. And you had like switches, which were like booleans, stuff like that. So I guess I got into like the basics there. And then at some point I started making websites, and I started like making stuff in PHP. So that's sort of how I started. And then like when I was in high school, I started messing around with C#. And at the time, I thought I was like, hold shit, okay. I was like, I'm such a professional programmer. I'm a programmer. I've made all this stuff. And I made a whole bunch of like cool websites. I remember when I was in high school, I even made a Guild Wars 2 website. When Guild Wars 2 had just come out. Never actually released it. But like I was working on a website where you could see like which events were happening. They actually shut down that API, so you couldn't even use it anymore. But I would make websites, and I thought it was hot shit. But then I went to university and I studied computer science. And that's where my programming skills got a lot better once I went to university. And I started doing things like more properly, and so I guess it's both. I guess I was like a self-taught teenager, but then I got a lot better once I had to do a lot of programming in university. However, weirdly enough, most of the programming stuff I didn't really learn from like a teacher in uni. I'm sure some of you CS people can imagine this, but basically a lot of like the stuff I was doing, like I had one course about how to program at the start of computer science. After that, it was more like theoretical stuff and like mathy stuff, and not as much like actual programming. It was like year 1, first course was like learn how to program, and after that it was much more science, right? Like the the science behind computing stuff. But the way I really learned programming is because I was forced to just program a lot, I think, right? Like I always had to like for classes I always had to program stuff. It would be like, oh, you gotta like program something like this. Oh, you gotta program something like this. You gotta program a consensus hierarchy or something. A lot of stuff like that. So I just programmed a lot in university, and that's how I learned to program. And then I think the second time I leveled up. I'm so good at programming. I think I'm fairly average at programming. But the second time I quote unquote leveled up is I did a master's, and the first course that I got in my master's was about optimizing. And I had this really good teacher that I really liked, who like, used to work in the game industry. And he taught me a lot of stuff. And then later during my master's, I did my thesis project, which was the ray tracing thing. And he was my supervisor. And I learned a lot just from doing that project. And I was like working at this company, and I had like this supervisor who was like a total pro. Probably one of the smartest people I know. So that's how I learned, I guess. To sum it up, it was like self-taught stuff, and then university, and then I had a really good supervisor who taught me a lot. And now I'm making my own little game. I should show you my game, actually. That would be fun to do again. Yo, I guess that's another one of my goals this year, too. I want to work more on Timberwind. I don't work on Timberwind as much as I would like. I've been working on it a bunch recently, though. I've been messing around with the shaders a whole bunch. More Timberwind, more variety streams. Part of me has been thinking that maybe we should bring back the game dev stream. But I'm not sure. Because there's just so many things I want to stream, right? There's like a whole bunch of like variety games I want to do. 2x wrote please. I don't know, maybe we should do the game dev stream again. This is like 2020, I think. Or was it 2021? No, it was like 2020, I think. I used to do streams where I would work on my game. And honestly, I think it was a really good way to like just get shit done. Because, you know, now the way that I work on my game right now is like I work on my... I stream, and then I work on videos, and then if there's some time left over, that's when I work on the game, you know? But like, I was really productive when I did those game dev streams, because like every week I had like a 5-hour time slot where I just worked on my game the whole time. And it was fun to like take people along for the ride, and like, you know, like get feedback from people live as we were making it and stuff. I don't know, maybe we should bring it back. I wrote this. It's not actually that intriguing. Let me briefly talk about what I've been up to though. It'll be fun. I know, this stuff is fun. Let's enable the audio though. I realized that this is broken. Look, master volume doesn't affect the music. Because I replaced the audio engine a couple months ago. And now I realize that it's actually broken. But it's okay. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Now you're hearing both Guild Wars and my game at the same time. Yes, this is in C#. This is in C#. Let me make a new character. Laranity. Let me change my hair. Bam. It looks a bit weird now, but I've been messing around with the tint. This is specifically meant for being at night. Yes, that's crazy. Okay, well, we figured out a bug. That's good. Hold on. Spawn item 5. I'll get our torch. I'll equip it. Spawn item 9? No, I always forget the number. Spawn item 4. Which one is the sword? I always forget. There we go. What's that one? And we can equip this one. But look, I made the night look a little bit nicer. It's like tinted now. But I still gotta work on the tints depending on the area you're in, stuff like that, right? Gotta mess around with that a little bit. Yeah, I want the night to be blue, but now, look, also the day is now also blue, which doesn't make much sense. Doesn't make much sense. So I gotta make it do that dynamically, right? I gotta like go into my world's ambience function and like change some stuff about that. But anyway, Timberwind's pretty cool. You should try it once it's done. It's gonna be a fun game. You can play multiplayer with your friends, run around in the world, talk to NPCs, do quests, fight bosses, go into dungeons. It's gonna be fun. Go check it out. Okay, anyway. Maybe you'll see some dev streams this year. Should I make that like a New Year's resolution? Bringing back dev streams? Maybe I'm having too many New Year's resolutions right now.